Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt on Twitter. To follow me on Twitter at BettingPros. Follow BettingPros on Twitter, and you got the BetMGM offer, which is a great time to use it right now during the NBA playoffs. So you guys can go $10 bet to win $150. Promo code Juice150 at sign up. Juice150 at BetMGM. BetMGM.com. All right, even though it was a losing night, down the juice. 1-1 is better than what we've been doing. So, not out of the cold streak. I thought the Clippers were going to cover that game. I mean, they were right there. I don't know how many offensive rebounds they gave up in that second half or that fourth quarter to the Timberwolves. I mean, we had a cover that was right there. And then that missed layup on the drive by Jackson just kind of killed everything. Turned out to be a 6-point win. A missed free throw with 6 seconds left. If the Clippers grab it, we get a miracle 3. We get a push, maybe, but we don't get that. We do get a very sweaty cover out of the Cavaliers, and they cover the 8.5 or 9.5, depending on where you bet it. Brooklyn wins by 7, so it's a 1-1 day down the juice, so it's not down very much. Not great, but better than losing a lot of money or a full unit. So we'll take that on a 1-1 mark. By the way, do you guys ever notice that BettingPros does this pick of the day, and they take a shot, they take a video clip of this podcast, and they put it on the website? Even though I've been so cold, I went 4-1 over the last 5 times they have taken my picks. I don't know why. So we need them to take my picks more often, because my picks, when they put them up on the website, it's good juju. We're hitting those bets when they take the bet of the day, whatever it is. They pick one of the plays, including last night. They took the plus 9.5, 8.5 for the Brooklyn Nets and the Cavaliers. Cavaliers cover. Not bad. Baseball plays. I think both of my baseball plays cash that they've pulled off of that. So go to bettingpros.com on the front page of the website, or if you follow them on Instagram at bettingpros on Instagram, you can see it. You can just see the picks, the plays of the day, and right there, we're it's ice cold and everywhere else, but that's the one place we actually have been cashing bets for people with the bet of the week, bet of the day from BettingPros. Okay, so here is what's going to happen for today. I have got 2 more bets for the NBA play-in tournament, 2 more games being played here tonight. And then I'm going to take 1 player prop because I want to go either 2-1 or 1-2. If we go 2-1, we can get over on the juice by getting a player prop right for a quarter unit. So I'm going to put 1.25 units in play here for today. Again, going small, not going crazy. But I am going to have 3 bets for you guys here for the play-in games happening tonight. Okay, let's start. Which game is the first game? That's the first game is not. Yeah, there's the first game. Okay, Charlotte at Atlanta. That's the first game. 7 o'clock Eastern time for this one. Atlanta being favored by 5. Total is 236. I'm going to look at the total here in this game because, frankly, I don't know what to do with this game ATS. Atlanta at home is 23-18. But Charlotte on the road is 23-17-1. Charlotte against the Eastern Conference was 30-21-1, and Atlanta was 24-28. Overall in the year, Atlanta had a losing record ATS, while Charlotte was 45-32-2. Charlotte ended the year on a 3-game win streak ATS. I lean towards Charlotte, okay? If I had to make a bet, I'd take the points. But instead, I'm going to take a look at the total here, all right? Charlotte in Atlanta, the total is 236 at BetMGM. Charlotte on the year is 41-40-1 to the under. Against their division, they were 11-5 to the under. Against the conference, Charlotte was 28-23-1 to the under. Atlanta, 27-25 to the under against the conference. Overall, they were 43-39, though, to the over. But over the last 4 games to end the year, Atlanta was 4-1 to the under. Charlotte was 2-3, 3-2 to the over, but just 5-5 coming down the stretch. So let's go through the games this season. First meeting, and Trae Young didn't play in all these, but just bear with me for a second. Atlanta on the road, Charlotte, total was 226.5. Game went under by 6.5 points. Next matchup, also on the road at Atlanta, 225. Total was 225. It went over by 32 points. Flew over 130 to 127. This game could look like that, by the way. But you go to the other meetings and you go down. They didn't play again. They were at home against the Hawks in Charlotte, 233.5. Game went under by 29.5 points. Kind of makes up for that first game, or that second game rather, being sort of an anomaly. And the fourth and final meeting between Atlanta and Charlotte this season, the game was a total of 240.5, and it went under by 18.5 points. The under is 3-1 here when these teams are playing. I think in a playoff type atmosphere, I think defenses get ratcheted up a little bit. I think without Gordon Hayward, I think Charlotte's offense is going to be a little less potent. I think they may slow it down just a little bit here. I'm going to take the under. Half a unit, 236 under for Charlotte and Atlanta. I know maybe it's a little bit counterintuitive. People were like, oh, Charlotte and Atlanta, go crazy. I think the total is too high. And again, 3-1 to the under when these teams have played so far this season. I know Trae Young has the capability of going crazy and going off and scoring a ton of points, but the difference between tonight's game or last night's game and tonight's game is that the loser's done. Okay? There is no break here. Okay? You lose this game, you go home. Okay? That means late game possessions. That means this is a real do or die playoff situation. This is a game 7. Okay? Generally in game 7s, you take unders. I'm taking the under. 236 under Charlotte and Atlanta for a half a unit. Second game, San Antonio at New Orleans. The number is 5.5. The total is 226. This year, ATS, the San Antonio Spurs were 43-37-2. Against the Western Conference, San Antonio was 31-19-2. Over the last 5 to end the regular season, they were 4-0-1. And you might go, oh, they're playing teams that nobody cared about. The games, seedings were already set, Matt. Okay. Over the last 10, they were 8-1-1 ATS. On the road, the Spurs this year, 23-16-2 ATS. New Orleans on the other side, at home, 21-19-1. They did not cover the last 2 games. Against the West, they were 24-28 ATS, and overall, New Orleans 41-40-1. Now, you go through some of the changes this team has made. I mean, these are different teams than what we've seen all year long, but you look at San Antonio up against New Orleans this season, what they have done. At home, San Antonio back in December, laying 2, they won by 15 in the first matchup. In the second matchup, it was on the road against New Orleans. They were catching 6.5. They won by 10. Okay, to 2-0. Third meeting, laying 2 points at home. They lost by 33. They got whipped. So it's a 2-1 mark. And then against New Orleans on the road on the 26th of March, a couple of days ago, catching 6 points. They won by 4. Spurs are 3-1 straight up this year against New Orleans. And yet they are dogs on the road, catching 5.5 points here. I got Greg Popovich in a postseason game, catching points in a game 7 setup. Losers, season's over. Have to win this game, okay? There is no tomorrow. The winner of this game will play the loser, will play the Clippers on the road. So, not easy, but you lose, you're done. You win, you play one more game on Friday. I think San Antonio may win this game outright. But I'll take the 5.5 points. Spurs plus 5.5 against New Orleans for a half a unit. All right. So we're going under 236 for the first game for the Hawks and the Hornets. And we're taking the Spurs plus 5.5 against the Pelicans coming up here for a Wednesday. Now, I want to add one player prop to kind of 2-1, 1-2. So either a winning day or losing day, kind of a guarantee. None of this juice washed stuff. LaMelo Ball. 23.5 points is the projection for LaMelo Ball here tonight. Again, I like the under in this game, okay, for the Hawks and the Hornets. So 24, 24, 26, the last 3 games of the year for LaMelo Ball. Before that, however, though, it was 18, 13, 20, 22 for LaMelo. He scored 33 against Brooklyn, 21 against Utah. But since I like the under here, right, so I'm looking at what will he do this season. If you look at the games that he played this year against the Atlanta Hawks, it's interesting. So in the first matchup for LaMelo Ball, scored 15 points. That was back in late November. He then missed the game with a wrist injury back in December, so he missed the second meeting. But in the third meeting, LaMelo scored 19 points in that game. And then in the final meeting of the season, LaMelo scored 22 points. So he's never gone over 23 and a half in the 4 games. He played in 3 of them that Atlanta played up against Charlotte. Never went over that. I think he'll be more of a passer tonight, more of a guy who wants to distribute. He had 9 points, 9 assists, 14, 5, 15, and 11. If you want to talk about LaMelo Ball over his assist number, don't mind that bet. But I think the guards for the Hawks are really going to key in, try to stop LaMelo Ball and try to get the basketball out of his hands, frankly, and not let them beat him. I'm going to go under for a quarter unit, under 23 and a half points for LaMelo Ball. This is also on the NBA prop bet cheat sheet on bettingpros.com. You can grab that. It's the number 2 option. I like it. I like under on the game. I like under for LaMelo Ball points. Under 23 and a half points at minus 115 for LaMelo Ball for a quarter unit. All right, 3 plays here on a Wednesday for the NBA. Taking under 236. Hawks Hornets. Spurs plus 5.5. Both those bets for half a unit. And then LaMelo Ball under 23 and a half points at minus 115 for a quarter unit. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.